Good evening, everyone. My name is Margaret Zylla. I'm a liturgical painter and muralist. I'd like to thank Paul Grass and the Religious Academy in Denver for inviting me to share a faith story with you this evening. So thank you, Paul and John, and hello, everyone. My beginning, I grew up in St. Cloud, Minnesota, in a large Catholic family, and was given a love of art from my mother. She was studying to be a commercial artist, and so she shared her love of art with us. In high school, I took all the classes I could and hoping to go on in an art education, but was not enabled to do so. And so married my wonderful husband and raised 4 beautiful children and helped him. He and I ran a number of businesses while our children were growing. When our children were mostly grown, the passion to paint liturgical and sacred art came back for me, and I had a weekend at a time able to concentrate on beginning to paint again. In deciding to embrace the sacred art that I wanted to produce, I started painting and studying classical realism, was fascinated and studied some of the work of Richard Lack, and I quickly moved to classical realism, representational realism, which to me gave me more leeway to not always present what was accurately portrayed, but the spirit or the emotion or a feeling or a depth that moved away from exact realism. I studied Caravaggio. I did studies of Karl Bloch and fell in love with the Renaissance style of work. I did attend some exterior classes. I did attend the Liturgy Institute, had an in-depth seminar, 2-week seminar on art and architecture for liturgy and liturgical spaces, which was very helpful in helping to decide compositions that are appropriate for liturgy and compositions that are created for personal devotion. It also enabled me to be able to consult with parishes as needed in choosing artwork or the style of artwork for particular places within their sanctuary. We live presently, my husband and I live in Henderson, Colorado, and at this point in time I do have Zylla Fine Art, a website. We've also created in our home the Sacred Oils Studio and Gallery, where we will host open houses and do private teaches, group teaching. I offer mural services to the area. I will travel for doing mural work. I do portraiture. I do statue restoration, and again, sanctuary consulting. And I also rent art for conferences in secular places that do need a spiritual aspect to their environment. But the question that Paul asked me to answer and to share in the faith journey was, how does my art help people meet Jesus? And in thinking about Paul's question, I had a thought that I wanted to share prior to describing my work, was the importance of liturgical art and sacred art and biblical art, because we are in an age that is used to pictures or icons rather than books. People are looking for their information by the click of a picture, not reading a book. People gather their information, preferably now, by visual presentation. And so it's a great opportunity for sacred artists because of the culture seeking the visual rather than the written word. So biblical illustrations, sacred illustrations, churches painted are what people are seeking for in this period of time in the culture. With that said, I thought about my work and how particular aspects of my work would help people meet Jesus. And I realized early on that when I was starting to paint, I was looking for the intimate relationships within the masters, and I would pull forward in detail and make life-size the relationships that were present in the compositions. I would like to introduce the Angel of Gethsemane. This is a representation from Carl Bloch, which is a minute part of the whole composition, but to me was the most intimate and most important part, was the angel comforting Jesus in his agony in the garden. In creating this work, friends of ours have requested it that were dying with terminal illness, and it was a great comfort to them. This piece of work has been requested for memorial services, diocesan Lenten retreats for priests, blue masses. It's been a comfort, and it has been a very encouraging piece of work and a great deal of comfort for many people. Another example of life-size work that I do is a piece called Stigmata. We're going to scan to that at this time. Stigmata is about 4 feet by 5 feet, or about 4 by 4 feet, and is obviously a very impactful piece of painting. So again, a lot of my work I like to do mural size or very large canvas size. And in presenting this in shows and in galleries, the impact is an encounter type of impact for those who have come to see my work. On the lighter side, I do try wherever I use my art to help people encounter the Lord in any way possible. And one entertaining way I do that is in the everyday living. I send gift boxes to our grandchildren in Minnesota, and every side of that box, whatever holiday, if it's Easter or if it's Christmas, is painted with a Bible story, a biblical illustration. And it has witnessed to FedEx and UPS. The staff will wait for the holiday boxes that I bring to ship. And I just consider it a privilege to witness in that small way to the children, but also to the world. In closure, I would just like to express a sincere appreciation for the gift of painting, and I wish to serve the Lord in it. And I encourage everyone to develop their skill to honor Him as best as possible. And hopefully you'll see miracles that happen from the work where the Lord places it. We have had a significant miracle in our life with one of the pieces of work. To my right is a small picture of the incredulity of St. Thomas. I painted that one, which is 4 feet by 5 foot. Again, a large and very impactful piece of artwork. The seminary needed to put it in their lecture hall because of its size. But in the blessing we received on our trip back home, there was a significant prayer for our safety and the return and the safety of all the travelers around us. And we were in a 6-car, 6-truck, semi-truck pileup accident in Illinois, and no one was hurt. All the EMTs, the firefighters, all the first responders were all fascinated and dazed at the protection everyone had in that accident. No one was hurt, and we drove away. So God has blessed the people receiving the art. He has blessed us in our travels home, and we hope that every piece can bless, that the Lord takes the work wherever He wants it to go, and that blessings will come to people. Thank you very much, and have a blessed evening.